There's a difference between being nice to everyone and being wise about who earns your kindness. A woman of substance understands this difference. She doesn't waste her energy trying to please the world. She doesn't bend herself to fit into every crowd. She knows that her respect, her time, and her care are earned, not handed out like free samples to anyone who happens to pass by. When she meets good people, those who are genuine, loyal, and true, she treats them with the same integrity they've shown her. She doesn't play games, doesn't manipulate, doesn't take advantage. She knows that good people are rare, and when you find them, you protect that bond. She speaks to them with honesty, even when the truth is uncomfortable. She supports them when they're struggling, not just when they're winning. She celebrates their victories without jealousy because she's secure in her own worth. She has boundaries. And here's the thing. Boundaries aren't walls meant to shut people out. They're gates that decide who gets in. With the right people, she opens that gate fully. She listens without distraction. She gives without keeping score. She invests her time knowing it will be respected. But don't mistake her kindness for weakness. A woman of substance doesn't tolerate disrespect from anyone, good or bad. If someone crosses the line, even if they've been good in the past, she addresses it, because respect is not a one-time gift, it's a continuous choice. She leads with empathy, but not naivety. She understands that some will test her limits, try to take more than they give. She notices. She adjusts. She steps back when needed, not out of cruelty, but out of self-respect, because she knows that protecting her energy means she can give more to those who truly deserve it. A woman of substance treats good people as partners in trust. She's loyal to them in public and in private. She speaks well of them when they're not in the room. She defends them when others try to tear them down. And she appreciates them out loud because she knows gratitude unspoken is gratitude wasted. And here's the most powerful thing. When she treats good people well, she inspires them to do the same for others. She becomes a ripple of integrity in a world where loyalty is becoming extinct. She proves that strength and kindness are not opposites. They're allies. Respect is not a currency she spends carelessly. A woman of substance knows that the way she treats people has weight, and she refuses to give that weight to those who haven't earned it. When she meets someone new, she doesn't rush to hand over her trust, her loyalty, or her time. She observes. She listens more than she speaks. She watches for patterns in behavior. Are their actions aligned with their words? Or do they just say what sounds good in the moment? Are they consistent when life is easy and when life gets difficult? Because for her, respect is not built in the calm. It's proven in the storm. Good people stand out to her not because they claim to be good, but because they live it. They show up when it's inconvenient. They speak truth when lies would be easier. They follow through on their promises, even when no one is watching. And when she sees these traits over time, she acknowledges them. That acknowledgement is where respect begins. She understands that respect isn't about flattery or shallow compliments. It's about genuine recognition of someone's value through how you treat them every day. She also knows that respect is not the same as liking someone. You can like someone's personality and still not respect them. You can enjoy someone's company and still know they can't be trusted. A woman of substance keeps that distinction clear. She will not confuse charm with character. She knows that true respect is reserved for those who have proven they deserve it through integrity, reliability, and consistency. When she does respect someone, it shows in her actions. She listens when they speak, not just to respond, but to understand. She gives her full attention because she knows that's one of the most powerful ways to show someone they matter. She values their time, never taking it for granted. She speaks to them directly without passive, aggressive remarks or manipulative tactics. Her words are straightforward because she believes good people deserve clarity, not confusion. Her respect also shows in how she handles disagreement. She doesn't attack good people for thinking differently. she doesn't dismiss their perspective. She listens, she considers, and she communicates with the intent to resolve, not to win. Because to her, respect isn't about always agreeing, it's about always valuing the relationship enough to handle conflict with dignity. She respects good people by protecting their reputation in their absence. She doesn't allow gossip to spread unchecked. If someone tries to speak negatively about them without cause, she shuts it down. She knows that defending someone when they're not there to defend themselves is one of the strongest signs of respect. It tells them, without words, "I've got you," even when you're not looking. And while she respects those who deserve it, she also respects herself enough to set limits. She understands that good people can make mistakes, but if those mistakes turn into patterns of neglect or disrespect, she won't excuse them forever. Respect is not a one-time prize. It must be maintained. She is willing to give grace, but she is not willing to tolerate a lack of accountability. If someone takes advantage of her respect, she takes it back, not out of bitterness, but out of self-worth. Her respect is expressed through reciprocity. If someone listens to her without judgment, she does the same. If someone supports her without keeping score, she matches that energy. She believes in giving back in equal measure to those who give to her. For her, relationships are built on balance, not one-sided effort. She is mindful of how she speaks about the people she respects. She doesn't use their mistakes as weapons. She doesn't make jokes at their expense. Her words uplift rather than undermine. She is aware that the way she speaks about someone when they're not in the room says more about her character than it does about theirs. She also understands that respect is shown through the small things. Being on time, remembering what matters to them, following up after important moments in their life. These little acts send a powerful message: I see you, I value you, and you matter to me. She knows that respect is not just a feeling, it's a continuous choice expressed through consistent action. For her, respect is rooted in mutual growth. When she respects someone, she wants to see them thrive. Even if it means they surpass her in some way, she isn't threatened by their success. She celebrates it because she knows that their win doesn't take anything away from her. Good people inspire her to be better, and she returns that energy by encouraging them, supporting their goals, and helping them reach higher. Her respect is not conditional on perfection. She doesn't expect the people she values to be flawless. She expects them to be real, to own up when they're wrong, to communicate when something is off, to keep the relationship rooted in truth rather than pretense. She respects effort as much as she respects results, because she understands that consistency in effort builds trust over time. Ultimately, she respects people who live by their values, not just talk about them. She has no interest in hollow gestures or performative kindness. She is drawn to those whose actions reflect their principles, even when no one is watching. And when she finds those people, she treats them as treasures, rare, valuable, and worth protecting. The reason her respect means so much is because she doesn't give it away lightly. When you earn it, you know it's real. It's not based on what you can offer her, what you look like, or what you can do for her. It's based on who you are at your core. And when a woman of substance sees that, she will treat you with a level of regard that is steady, unwavering, and deeply sincere. Loyalty is something she does not take lightly. For her, it's not just a word, not just a warm feeling, and not something you can claim without proving it. It is a living, breathing action. A commitment to stand with someone, especially when it's inconvenient. A woman of substance understands that loyalty has to flow both ways. If it's one-sided, it's not loyalty, it's servitude. And she refuses to be anyone's servant in a relationship, whether it's personal or professional. When she finds good people, she is deliberate in the way she invests in them. She doesn't just show up when things are easy and everyone is smiling. She shows up when the air is heavy, when situations are messy, and when silence feels safer than truth. She stays present through the storms because she knows that loyalty is measured when there's something to lose, not when there's something to gain. Her loyalty manifests in actions, not promises. If she says she has your back, she means she will defend you in the room and outside of it. She won't let someone's name be dragged through the dirt without stepping in. She won't stay silent if you're being wronged, even if speaking up costs her something. She understands that loyalty sometimes demands risk, and she is willing to take it for people who have proven their worth. But she is not naive. She is not the type to give and give without watching how the other person behaves in return. She studies patterns. She notices if someone only shows up when they need something from her. She notices if they disappear when she's the one in need. And when she sees that loyalty is not being returned, she acts. She won't make a scene. She won't beg for reciprocity. She will quietly adjust her investment. She will stop giving energy to people who cannot be counted on. Because for her, loyalty is not a charity. It's a partnership. Loyalty, in her mind, is also about consistency. She is wary of people who are loyal only when it's convenient, when the crowd approves, or when the benefits are clear. True loyalty to her means sticking by someone even when they're not popular, even when the path is lonely. It means defending someone's integrity when they can't defend themselves. It means not being swayed by rumors or gossip, but choosing to judge them based on your own experience. She practices this herself. If she trusts you, she doesn't let outside noise change that trust without reason. She doesn't jump to conclusions based on whispers. She gives you the respect of hearing your side first. She believes that part of loyalty is giving someone the chance to explain before deciding where you stand. And when she's chosen to stand with you, you can be sure she won't disappear when things get hard. Her loyalty also shows in the little things. She remembers what matters to you. She keeps your confidences safe, never using your vulnerabilities as weapons. She notices when you need encouragement and offers it without you having to ask. These are not grand, flashy gestures. They are quiet, consistent acts of reliability that tell you she is someone you can count on. But here's the thing, she expects that same consistency back. She doesn't believe in begging for loyalty. If she has to chase you to prove you're standing with her, she knows you're not truly standing at all. And she will not exhaust herself trying to keep someone in her life who cannot match her commitment. She knows that misplaced loyalty can drain her energy, lower her standards, and keep her tied to people who don't deserve her. So she chooses carefully and lets go when necessary. She also understands that loyalty is not blind devotion. If she sees that someone she cares about is in the wrong, she will not enable them. She will call them out with love and honesty, because she knows that loyalty isn't about agreeing with everything they do. It's about wanting what's best for them, even if it means they need to face uncomfortable truths. Her loyalty is grounded in integrity, not in turning a blind eye to mistakes. And when she commits to someone, she commits fully. She is not half in, half out. She doesn't keep backup plans or second options. When she's on your side, she's all in. She celebrates your wins as if they were her own. She defends you against unfair criticism. She speaks well of you in rooms you're not in, which often matters more than anything she could say to your face. She knows that loyalty builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Without it, the connection is just surface level, a performance for convenience. She refuses to waste time on relationships that are all appearance and no depth. She wants the kind of bond where you can look at each other and know, without saying a word, I've got you and you've got me. Her loyalty is a strength, but she is careful not to let it become a weakness. She doesn't confuse loyalty with attachment. She knows when to walk away if someone repeatedly disrespects her or takes advantage of her commitment. In her mind, ending a relationship that has become toxic is not betrayal, it's self-respect. Because loyalty without boundaries is just self-destruction. and she refuses to destroy herself for anyone. She understands that in a world full of people chasing quick benefits and temporary connections, loyalty is rare and powerful. When she finds someone who offers it back, she treasures them. She invests in that relationship, not just emotionally, but with her actions, her time, and her trust. Because she knows that with the right people, loyalty becomes the unshakable bond that makes every other part of the relationship stronger. And when she treats good people with this kind of loyalty, she sets a standard. She shows them and everyone watching that commitment, trust, and mutual respect are not outdated values. They are the backbone of meaningful connections. She proves that loyalty isn't just about staying. It's about showing up fully, over and over again, in ways that leave no doubt where you stand. Boundaries are one of the most misunderstood aspects of relationships, yet they are the very thing that keeps them healthy. A woman of substance understands this better than most. She doesn't see boundaries as barriers to connection, but as the framework that protects and sustains it. Without them, even the best intentions can crumble under the weight of misunderstanding, resentment, and unspoken expectations. When she deals with good people, people who have shown themselves to be trustworthy and kind, she is not afraid to be clear about where her lines are. This isn't because she doubts them, it's because she values the relationship enough to protect it. She knows that leaving boundaries unspoken invites assumptions, and assumptions have a way of eroding trust over time. Clarity, to her, is a form of respect. It's a here's how I function best, and here's how we can keep this relationship strong. Her boundaries are not about control. She isn't trying to dictate how others live their lives or limit their freedom. Instead, they are about self-respect, knowing what she will and will not accept, and communicating that without guilt. She understands that if she ignores her own needs to keep the peace, resentment will eventually build, and resentment is the silent killer of good relationships. With good people, her boundaries actually create more closeness, not less. They eliminate the guesswork. The people in her life know where she stands, and they know she will be honest with them if something feels off. This honesty makes them feel safe too, because it works both ways. They are free to express their own needs without fear of backlash. In this way, boundaries become the bridge that keeps mutual respect intact. She also knows that boundaries aren't set once and forgotten. They are living, evolving things. As life changes, as circumstances shift, so do her limits. She's not afraid to redress them when needed, and she encourages the same from others. A woman of substance is adaptable, but not at the cost of her values. She can compromise on the how, but never on the why. That protects her well-being. Setting boundaries requires courage, and she's not afraid of that discomfort. She knows that some people, even good ones, might feel uneasy at first when limits are introduced. But she also knows that anyone who truly values her will eventually understand and appreciate the clarity. The ones who resist boundaries usually aren't resisting her. They're resisting the accountability those boundaries bring. And she has no problem letting those people drift away because she refuses to sacrifice her peace for someone else's comfort. Her boundaries are also an expression of her time's value. She doesn't allow her schedule to be dictated by everyone else's urgency. She knows when to say yes and when to say not right now, without feeling the need to justify herself endlessly. She understands that constant availability does not equal deeper connection. It often leads to burnout and shallow interactions. By protecting her time, she ensures that when she does give it, she's fully present and engaged. She applies the same principle to emotional energy. She is selective about the kind of conversations she entertains. If a discussion turns toxic, repetitive, or disrespectful, she has no problem stepping away. She knows she's not obligated to stay in spaces that drain her, no matter who's asking for her attention. This doesn't mean she's cold. It means she's aware of the emotional balance required to stay healthy and give her best to the people who matter. When conflicts arise, Her boundaries guide her response. She doesn't let anger dictate her actions, nor does she allow guilt to push her into decisions she'll regret. She approaches disagreements calmly, stating her limits clearly and without unnecessary hostility. She knows that the tone you set in conflict often determines whether the relationship grows stronger or weaker afterward, and she doesn't wait for others to guess when a line has been crossed. She addresses it directly without turning it into a public spectacle. Her approach is private, respectful, but firm. This shows the other person that she values the relationship enough to protect it from unnecessary damage, but also values herself enough to not let the issue slide. Boundaries also allow her to remain generous without being depleted. She gives freely to those she trusts, but never at the expense of her own stability. She has learned that constantly pouring from an empty cup helps no one. It leads to bitterness, exhaustion, and the eventual breakdown of the bond. By maintaining her limits, she ensures she can keep showing up as her best self. She is also not afraid to enforce consequences when boundaries are repeatedly ignored. She knows that boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions, and suggestions rarely protect anything. If someone consistently oversteps, she doesn't respond with endless warnings. She changes her level of access to them. This isn't punishment, it's self-preservation. And in doing so, she sends a message: I will treat you with respect, but I expect the same in return. Good people, the ones who genuinely care, see her boundaries for what they are, proof that she takes herself and the relationship seriously. They don't feel threatened by them. They feel reassured. They understand that a relationship without boundaries is like a house without walls, open to everything, including what will eventually destroy it. Her boundaries are not rigid cages. They are flexible frameworks that allow trust, intimacy, and loyalty to grow without fear of exploitation. She uses them not to push people away, but to keep the right people close for the long haul. And because she is so intentional about them, she attracts relationships where respect flows naturally, where both sides feel valued, and where no one has to wonder where they stand. Through her boundaries, she sends a clear, unspoken message. She will give you space to be yourself, but she will not abandon herself in the process. She will welcome you into her life, but she will not hand you the keys to dismantle it. She will share deeply, love fully, and commit fiercely, but only within the structure that keeps her integrity intact. And that structure is what allows her to maintain strong, lasting connections with the people who truly deserve a place in her life. Gratitude, for her, is never something she keeps locked inside. She believes that if you appreciate someone, you should make sure they know it. A woman of substance understands that people aren't obligated to be good to you. They choose to be. And when someone makes that choice consistently, she sees it as a privilege, not an entitlement. She refuses to take it for granted. That's why she makes a conscious effort to express gratitude, not just in moments of celebration, but in the quiet, ordinary days where appreciation matters most. When she values someone, she makes it clear. She doesn't let their kindness go unnoticed. Whether it's a big act or a small gesture, she acknowledges it. She knows that people often assume others know they're appreciated, but assumptions leave too much unsaid. She understands that unspoken gratitude can feel like no gratitude at all, so she makes it a habit to voice it, to write it, to show it. Her gratitude is specific. She doesn't just say, "Thank you." She says, "Thank you for showing up when I needed someone to listen," or "Thank you for standing up for me when I wasn't there to defend myself." That specificity shows that she truly sees the effort. She also knows that gratitude is more than words. It's action. It's how she treats those who treat her well. She doesn't keep score, but she makes sure the balance feels fair. If someone supports her, she looks for ways to support them in return. If someone has her back, she makes it known that she has theirs. Not just in the big moments, but in the subtle ways that prove she's paying attention. She might make time to check in when they've gone quiet, help them prepare for something important, or simply be a steady presence in their life. Her gratitude is not conditional on perfection. She doesn't expect good people to get it right every time. She understands that mistakes happen, but what matters to her is intent and effort. If someone consistently shows up with good intentions, she focuses on that rather than the rare misstep. This makes the people around her feel safe to be themselves, knowing they don't have to walk on eggshells to keep her appreciation. She doesn't wait for grand gestures to show gratitude either. She finds it in the little things, someone remembering her coffee order, checking in after a hard day, or offering help without being asked. She knows that these small acts add up to something powerful over time, and when she notices them, she makes it a point to highlight them. By doing this, she encourages the people around her to keep showing up in those ways, creating a cycle of mutual respect and care. Her way of expressing gratitude often involves making people feel seen. She knows that in a world where many feel overlooked, simply recognizing someone's effort can mean everything. She looks them in the eye when she thanks them. She uses their name. She makes the moment personal. She avoids empty platitudes because she knows they don't hold weight. Her gratitude is rooted in sincerity, and sincerity is what people remember. She also understands that gratitude doesn't just strengthen relationships, it protects them. When you consistently acknowledge the value someone brings into your life, you create a sense of trust and goodwill. This makes it easier to navigate challenges when they arise. If she has to set a boundary or address a conflict, the other person knows it's coming from a place of respect, not criticism, because she has made her appreciation clear over time. But another thing she values is showing gratitude in ways that matter to the other person, not just in ways that come naturally to her. She pays attention to how they receive appreciation. Some prefer verbal affirmation, others value acts of service. Some cherish quality time. She adapts, knowing that gratitude is most impactful when it's expressed in the language the other person understands best. She refuses to let familiarity dull her appreciation. She knows that it's easy to take the people closest to you for granted, assuming they'll always be there. But she rejects that mindset. Even with those she's known for years, she continues to thank them, to compliment them, to remind them that they matter. Longevity doesn't reduce her gratitude, it deepens it. Gratitude for her is also about humility. She recognizes that she's not an island, that her growth, success, and well-being are often supported by the people around her. She doesn't pretend she did it all alone. She's quick to give credit where it's due, whether that's in private conversation or in front of others. She lifts people up publicly, making sure their contributions are recognized beyond just her acknowledgement. And she understands that gratitude has power beyond the moment. It's a seed that, when planted often enough, grows into a deep sense of loyalty and connection. People remember how you make them feel, and feeling valued is something that stays with them. Her consistent gratitude makes good people want to keep being good to her. Not out of obligation, but out of genuine connection and respect. She knows that in some relationships, gratitude fades when the newness wears off. But for her, it's the opposite. The longer she knows someone, the more she appreciates the consistency they've shown. She's aware that sustaining good character over time is harder than showing it in the short term. And that's exactly why she makes sure the people in her life never have to wonder if she notices their effort, because she always does. Her gratitude also acts as a filter. People who take advantage of her kindness often reveal themselves when they stop valuing the acknowledgement she offers. She pays attention to those reactions. Good people don't demand constant praise, but they do value genuine appreciation. If someone dismisses her gratitude or begins to expect it without reciprocating effort, she takes note and adjusts how much of herself she invests. In her world, gratitude is not about debt. It's about choice. She doesn't thank people because she feels she has to. She thanks them because she genuinely wants to. And that authenticity is what makes it powerful. It's why her words of thanks land deeply, why her gestures of appreciation linger in people's minds, and why those who treat her well feel motivated to keep doing so. Kindness is often misunderstood as softness, but for her, it's nothing of the sort. She knows that true kindness doesn't exist without strength. Anyone can be pleasant when it's easy, but real kindness requires the ability to stand firm, to protect yourself and others, and to choose compassion even when it's not convenient. A woman of substance has mastered the balance. Her kindness is never weakness, and her strength is never cruelty. When she meets good people, she treats them with generosity and warmth, but that warmth has boundaries. She will help, support, and uplift them, but she will not allow them or anyone to take advantage of her. She has learned that kindness without limits leads to resentment, and resentment destroys relationships faster than anything else. Her kindness is intentional, not automatic. It's rooted in a clear understanding of who has earned it. She knows that strength and kindness work best together. Kindness without strength can be exploited, and strength without kindness can turn cold. But when you combine the two, you create a force that not only earns respect, but also builds trust. That's why she refuses to be one or the other. She is both. She can be soft-spoken and firm in the same conversation. She can listen with empathy and still say no without guilt. Her kindness shows in the way she treats people with dignity, regardless of their status or what they can offer her. She doesn't believe in selective respect. Good people, no matter where they come from, deserve to feel valued. She listens without dismissing, encourages without patronizing, and offers help without making someone feel small. Her goal is never to make herself look better by saving someone, it's to empower them to stand strong on their own. But she also understands that kindness isn't about pleasing everyone. She doesn't twist herself into someone else's version of nice, just to avoid conflict. If something crosses her values, she will address it. If someone disrespects her or others, she will call it out. And she does it without hostility, because she knows strength doesn't need to roar to be felt. Her calm, direct approach often makes a bigger impact than anger ever could. When she's kind to good people, it's not performative, it's genuine. She doesn't do it for recognition or to appear virtuous. She does it because it aligns with who she is. She knows that authenticity is the foundation of any lasting connection, and fake kindness, no matter how polished, will always crumble eventually. That's why her kindness carries weight. It's consistent, not situational. Her strength also allows her to be kind without fear. She's not worried that being compassionate will make her look weak, because she knows exactly where her power lies. She's not afraid that helping someone will mean she loses something, because she's confident in her ability to set limits. Her kindness comes from a place of security, not insecurity. She uses her strength to protect her kindness. She doesn't allow negativity, manipulation, or toxicity to drain her capacity for compassion. She knows that being around the wrong people for too long can make even the kindest person bitter, so she's intentional about her circle. She invests her kindness where it will grow, not where it will be wasted. When she stands up for herself, she does it in a way that inspires others to do the same. She's living proof that you don't have to choose between being respected and being kind. You can have both, but only if you refuse to let one cancel out the other. Good people in her life see this and feel safe with her because they know she won't just protect herself, she'll protect them too. Her kindness is also courageous. It takes courage to forgive, to let go of grudges, and to give people another chance when they've earned it. It takes courage to offer encouragement when it's easier to stay silent, to step in when someone is being mistreated, but to help even when there's no guarantee of getting anything back. She embraces that courage, knowing that it strengthens both her and the relationships she values. She never uses kindness as a bargaining tool. She's not transactional about it. Her support doesn't come with strings attached. But at the same time, she doesn't keep pouring into people who never pour back. She recognizes when a relationship has become one-sided and she adjusts accordingly. This way, her kindness remains pure, not resentful. Her strength shows in her ability to walk away from situations where her kindness is abused. She doesn't let fear of being judged keep her in connections that drain her. She knows that protecting her heart and energy isn't selfish. It's necessary. And she understands that leaving some relationships is the ultimate act of kindness toward herself. She also uses her kindness to lead by example. In a world where many believe you have to be ruthless to be respected, she proves that respect is just as easily earned through empathy, fairness, and unwavering principles. People notice the way she treats others, and it inspires them to elevate their own behavior. Her actions remind people that strength is not about how much you can dominate, but about how much you can lift others while standing firm yourself. Her combination of strength and kindness builds loyalty. Good people know they can count on her to be fair, to be supportive, and to be honest, even when honesty is hard. They know she will defend them, celebrate them, and stand by them, but also challenge them if they're heading down the wrong path. Her relationships thrive because they're rooted in both compassion and accountability. And while she treats good people with warmth, she doesn't confuse kindness with being endlessly available. She knows that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is to give them space, to let them solve their own problems, or to let them face the consequences of their choices. She's not afraid to take that step because she understands that true kindness helps people grow. It doesn't enable them to stay stuck. Her life is a reflection of this balance. People who experience her kindness feel it deeply, and people who witness her strength respect it. Together, they create a presence that is steady, trustworthy, and magnetic. She proves that when you protect your kindness with strength, you don't just survive in this world, you build connections that last, trust that doesn't break easily, and a reputation that speaks long after you've left the room. At the heart of it all, how a woman treats those who truly deserve it says everything about her character. It's not about grand gestures or public displays. It's in the quiet consistency of her actions. She chooses to value the right people, to honor their loyalty, and to create an environment where respect flows both ways. She's intentional with her energy, knowing the good people in her life are not there by accident. They've earned her trust, and she has earned theirs, creating bonds that are not easily shaken. Her approach is rooted in self-awareness. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and where she draws the line. That clarity allows her to be fully present with those who matter, without diluting her time or attention on those who don't. The people in her circle feel seen, heard, and appreciated, not because she's trying to be perfect, but because she chooses to be genuine. She understands that relationships are living things. They grow when nurtured, and they wither when neglected. That's why she puts effort into staying connected, celebrating milestones, and offering support during challenges. She invests in the people who show up for her, because she knows that real connections require more than words. They require action. Her treatment of good people reflects her values, not her moods. She doesn't allow stress, frustration, or personal struggles to turn her into someone careless with words or actions. Even on her hardest days, she strives to maintain the standard she has set for herself. This consistency is why the right people trust her. It's not about perfection, it's about reliability. In her world, respect is not something you demand, it's something you demonstrate. She models it in the way she listens without judgment, in the way she remembers the details that matter to others, and in the way she makes space for different perspectives without compromising her own boundaries. Good people notice this, and they respond in kind. She never forgets that the way she treats people becomes part of her legacy. Long after words fade, actions remain. The people she treats well will carry those moments forward, perhaps treating others with the same level of care because of her example. That ripple effect is part of her influence, quiet but powerful, shaping lives in ways she may never fully see. The beauty of her approach is that it's not transactional. She doesn't treat good people well because she's expecting something in return. She does it because it's who she is. She knows that living with integrity is its own reward, and that the trust and loyalty she earns along the way are simply the natural results of staying true to her principles. At the end of the day, her strength, kindness, and loyalty form a rare combination. She stands firm in her values, yet remains open-hearted. She protects her peace while protecting her people. And in doing so, she creates a life where the right people not only stay, they thrive alongside her, knowing they are valued, respected, and safe in her presence.